Hi everyone, in this video I will be discussing what you can expect at your marriage green card interview at USCIS. And our firm has helped hundreds of couples through the process, and we know that the number one question we receive is, what am I going to expect at my immigration interview? And so if this topic is of interest to you, please stay tuned, and I will be going into details about what it is you can expect and what the interview really is all about. So before we dive in, if you're new here, I'm attorney Megan Pastrana of Corrado Pastrana at the immigration firm for couples. Our firm is dedicated exclusively to assisting couples through the immigration process, from adjustment of status to removal of conditions, fiancé visas, and naturalization. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and do so now and hit the alerts button. We also have a Facebook group called Immigration for Couples, and the link is below. We'd love to have you join our Facebook group. We make sure that our YouTube channel and Facebook group is providing you with up-to-date information about what is going on in the world of immigration as it relates to couples, and also with important information, facts, and tips that you need to navigate your immigration case. So let's dive in what to expect at your marriage green card interview at USCIS. So just to clarify, USCIS marriage green card interviews are the interviews that take place here in the United States. So some people are eligible and are lucky enough to be able to file adjustment of status here in the United States and complete their process in the United States. Also, individuals who have received a fiancé visa and who have come to the United States and gotten married and then have to file their application for their green card also will be interviewed at a USCIS office. I just want to clarify that because there are so many different paths that immigration cases can take, and a lot of people have interviews at U.S. embassies and consulates abroad. So I want to make sure you know that this video is not about those interviews. We're discussing USCIS interviews that happen at USCIS offices in the United States. So let's jump in. First of all, I'd like to go over what exactly is the marriage green card interview process. So there's a lot of romantic comedies. The Proposal with Sandra Bullock comes to mind. I love that movie, but it's wildly inaccurate. And so a lot of people have this idea of what marriage green card interviews entail, and it's overwhelming, we know, to be on the hot seat and be asked questions about your relationship. So first and foremost, the purpose of the interview is really for the officer to meet with both of you as a couple. They want to ask you questions to see not only how you respond, but how you interact. And the other purpose of the interview is also to confirm your eligibility. So there's two components there that interview is covering. Checking to get to know more about your relationship, to make sure it's a real relationship, and also making sure that you're eligible. And by eligible, I mean immigration wants to make sure that you don't have any issues in your immigration history or criminal history that would make you not able to receive a green card. And so the officer will be asking you security questions and things about your background. So those are the two parts, but the part that concerns people the most is typically as it relates to the relationship. So the marriage green card interview, typically officers will call you back separately. And so as a couple, that kind of can be overwhelming to have to be separated. Sometimes you might be lucky and the officer will call you back at the same time, and we'll just let you both know that they'll be asking one of you questions at a time and that only that person should respond. So either way, it depends on the officer, it depends on the USCIS office you're at. There's a lot of different factors involved. And so the officers will be asking you questions about your relationship, and a lot of individuals want to know exactly what questions are they going to ask me. I know a lot of people want to be able to study or make flashcards, and really that's not necessary. I want this video to hopefully put your mind at ease. The marriage interview for your green card is extremely important, and you should definitely take it seriously. But know that if you have a real relationship, you've gotten to know each other, you know a lot more about each other than than you think. And the officer typically is not trying to trick you, rather they just want to ask you questions about your day-to-day life and things that any couple should know about each other. I'll throw out a few examples, but again, this isn't necessarily questions that they will definitely ask at your interview, and it's not a complete list. They can really ask you anything. But a lot of times officers will want to start out by asking you the basics about, well, where does your spouse work, and where do you live, and what are each other's schedules. Sometimes they ask what you might have had for dinner last night. I mean, there's a ton of questions they can ask you about your relationship. For the most part, you know each other, you're in love, you know your story of love, and you know your day-to-day life. And so that's really what they're wanting to ask you about, to see if you both really do know each other and that you really do have a relationship based on love. Some pointers that I'd like to provide you with too is that sometimes officers might ask dates. When did you first meet, or when was your last date, or when was your last vacation? Dates are hard. Days can kind of start to blend together, so it's good to be on the same page with that. To kind of review dates. Sometimes couples think that they remember, one of them remembers they met in the summer, or they might think that their last date or their last vacation or when they met, they might have some different ideas. Memories can be different, and so it's kind of good to have a discussion about some of those main events in your life, but nothing that really needs to be memorized. And then also know that the immigration officers aren't looking for you to have exact same cookie cutter answers. So that's why I know a lot of couples mention that they'd like to make flashcards or memorize each other's favorite colors and favorite animals, and that's not necessary. You know each other as a couple. You might have different ways that you answer the question, but at the end of the day, the officer could bring you in together to clarify certain details. For example, your spouse might think that your car is silver and you say it's gray. I know my husband and I have a discussion about what color we think things are. And so, for example, if we would answer those two different colors, the officer might bring us in and clarify, oh yeah, you guys just see colors differently, or gray or silver, same difference, right? So those are just some examples. But really, again, the marriage green card interview is for the officer to get to know the two of you as a couple, and also to confirm your eligibility. So I hope that those were some tips to put your mind at ease a little bit about what you can expect at that interview. So if you have a green card interview coming up, we wish you the best of luck. If you're just getting started on your immigration case, we'd love to help you. Our firm offers do-it-yourself options along with traditional representation. Our website is below, so you can check out our free resources, our do-it-yourself courses, and also you can use the links below to schedule an appointment to speak with one of our attorneys about your options.